Hello and welcome to another video. So just jumping right into it, you can see that this is the same piece from last week, but instead of doing the sketch, I'm just going ahead and finishing it up today with both the line art and the coloring. I'm not going to focus too much on the line art just because it's pretty simple. I just go through it pretty much as quickly as possible, try to get things as done as quick as possible just because I don't like line art, and so I don't really put too much thought into it other than putting in some line variation where there would be shadows. If you guys want a more in-depth video on line art, I guess I could do that, even though it would be torture for me because line art is my least favorite step, and I try not to focus on it too much. But if there's really a demand for it, I guess I could do something about it. So as you can see here, I'm just going into the coloring. So when I was doing the coloring for this, I decided that I would like to try to make it look like a marker coloring. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, that I want my digital art to look more like my traditional art. So I got this brush pack from the artist known as Olguio. It's spelled Olguioo, and that's their handle on Instagram. And so they made this brush pack that is basically what they try to replicate their materials from their traditional marker work into their digital artwork. So it's like it's got two different marker brushes, and then they have one version that has a multiply and one version that doesn't have a multiply, and then they have, I think, two different versions of a colored pencil. I did not use the colored pencil brush just because I don't really use colored pencils in my traditional work, so I just used the marker ones, and I mostly just used the the first brush without the multiply on it, just because it was getting me a little bit frustrated. So I just decided to just use the regular flat one. And basically, the way I went about it was I selected the parts that I wanted to color, like you see me do the skin, and then you see me do the the dress. I just put one flat color on that, and I kept it on a separate layer, and then I alpha locked it because I saw someone's Instagram post that said if you alpha lock something that has texture and then you color over it on a different layer, it won't lose the texture. And I really didn't want to lose the texture because, like I said, I wanted to make it look like a marker piece. So I did that, and I was like, yes, it's working. It didn't lose the texture. This is awesome. And so, but I wasn't really sure how to blend, so I just changed the smudge tool on Procreate. I just changed it to the same brush and I just went over it. Some of it looks a little bit too blended a little bit, but I still feel like it looks like a marker piece just because even though it's blended out, it still has that same texture. So I was like, this is actually working out pretty good. So I'm really satisfied with the way the marker coloring came out for their skin and for their clothes. Not so much on their hair. I have to figure out a different way to do hair. I did not really achieve what I wanted with the hair this time, but that's okay. This is a first try. So overall, I think it actually came out pretty good. I know usually I'm a little bit down on myself, but I'm actually really proud just because even though it's not the best piece, I do think that I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the techniques that I would like to use in the future for more marker looking digital illustrations. So it's pretty awesome. So I believe that I did say that I wanted to try and do a little bit of dynamic lighting with this piece, and I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you guys. I don't think that I really set up anything that's super dynamic. You'll see pretty much all I do is I put in a dark background and then I overlay just a purple color just because the shadows are already purple. So I figured I'll just make it a purple color, and then I lightened it a little bit so it wasn't completely washed out. And then I did try to put a rim light on them, and you'll see me do that in a minute, but I didn't like it. It didn't come out very good in my opinion. So instead of doing that, I just decided that I would just go ahead and give them a little bit of glow in their eyes. So I erased the color, the purple that was in their eyes so that their eyes would stand out a little bit more. But I was like, that's still not enough of a glow, so I just added a little bit of a glow to their eyes by putting like the color over it, and then I changed it to either lighten or add the layer. I can't remember right now. And then I just used a soft airbrush to make their eyes look like they were glowing a little bit. So yeah, that's what I decided to do with the lighting. I know it's not as dynamic as I said I would like it to be, and now that I'm looking at it, the rim light was okay. But then I tried to add all these fuzzy things because I was following the tutorial and I was like, I don't think this is working out. But that's alright. It's not a bad thing. I still feel like it looked really cool and it came out pretty good. Alrighty, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. I'll go ahead and see you in the next one. Bye bye.